Hey, welcome back. Of course, you guys asked for a few, actually asked for a little more footage, a little more in-depth coverage of what it took to get that roof panel swapped out in that 1967 Firebird that we did out there in Arizona from a good buddy, Brian Minson. Well, I've actually came through here, got all the bits and pieces put together, shows a little more what it took to get that roof cut off, get it fitted, and welded back on, and we didn't use any bricks. Of course, mostly because the airplane guys there at the airport, for some reason, they don't want you to take any bricks on your carry-on. So, and besides all that, of course, drank a lot of orange Mountain Dew, had a lot of great fun. And of course, if you guys ever check out his channel, he's actually changed now to Arrowhead Garage. You'll see as he's working on his car, I left him a few little empty cans of orange Mountain Dew hidden throughout his entire car when he wasn't looking. So anyway, enough of all that. I've got the footage put together. I hope you find this helpful, useful, or maybe slightly entertaining or educational. And of course, anything else you guys want to see, let me know. I love putting these videos together for you just the same. So let's get this thing rolling. Let's check it out. Hey, time for the main event. Time to pop the top on the old rusty, crusty bird. This is what I've been waiting for. We got our sail panels installed, deck filler panel installed, lined up with the massage trunk deck. Now it's time for what we've all been waiting for. The whole reason I got on a little plane to come out here to Arizona. All we really have to do, since I've already done all this cutting so far, is literally just cut the front on the window edge and on the rear and right here in this channel. And I've already, this side's pretty rusty. I'll just notch the sides. I'm gonna flip it over and then we'll spend probably the next hour or so peeling back all the dead metal. But getting the main roof skin off, probably gonna be less than probably 2 minutes of actual work. It's gonna go pretty quick. So I'm gonna dig into it, got the death blow ready. Let's make this thing happen. All right, back's all cut out. Now let's jump up here to the front of the car. Unfortunately, in the front, we do need to get the lead out of the front corner seams on the A-pillars. And if you've not done that before, this process isn't really overly complicated. Get your propane or MAP gas torch. Of course, you're going to need some kind of a brush. I use a stainless steel brush here like this one. Get it all heated up. Once the lead is softened up enough, it kind of just brushes away until you get down. And of course, keep your torch lit. Works a whole lot more gooder. Now, nonetheless, like I say, get it hot, and you keep working and scrubbing it away, and eventually you'll get down to the base metal, and you'll expose that well. That's what we're trying to get to, so we can get to see it to cut it out, because I only want to cut the roof off and not cut any of the A-pillar out of the car necessarily. And of course, once you get the driver's side done, here we'll jump over to the passenger side and do just the same. Then once we're done with all that, we'll go ahead and cut across the top of the window channel, just like we did on the back, right in that groove. Get the roof cut out of here, and that's going to take care of the front for us. And then we'll go ahead and work on the sides of the roof, and this thing should be popped off pretty quick. I almost think at this point I have more time invested in trying to get the lead out here than cutting the rest of the roof off. But just about got this side done here, and then we'll go ahead and jump over to the other side. It's hard work. Yeah. Let's make it happen. Burnt through a little bit right there. So, you lift and wash. Lift it.
Carry it forward?
Yeah. Ah!
Dog.
Yeah, I got long arms. I can stretch it to you. Hey.
So this is just the
Sound deadener. Actually, normally that's attached to the roof skin. Just kind of falling down over time.
wow.
So.
And you're right. There's no rust from where it was at.
No severe pitting surface, but no severe pitting or scale rot through or anything.
And these are the bows.
That is the center bow. That one's a little different. These are the bows for headliner.
Okay.
Headliners in, it'll snap into these. They're worn out pipe and dried out plastic. But yeah, this is the center one. It's a little different. But yeah, keep the bows in location. They are different.
Right, just like on a Porsche.
Yeah.
Each one is unique.
Don't mix them up.
Yeah.
So
I
leave
one,
it just
two,
like it is.
just leave it.
5 bows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one's a little special one. So special. All right. Pretty cool, huh?
That is cool.
Where's the easy button at? There we go. There, that one went like I wanted it to. For some reason your hand gets a little tired though. I'm doing it right. Look at that. Okay. Let me show you here what it looks like. Surprising how bad that roof was. We got, of course, peeled off. But the part that really is amazing is there's a little bit of rust here in this corner. That's probably the worst of it. But the rest of it, I mean, it's not rotted through. It's not really damaged. It's surprisingly in very nice condition. Of course, we've already got this all prepped for the next part, but went ahead and pulled all the metal off the ends here and kind of buzzed off the spot weld. So I'm gonna do a little more cleaning up on here and then weld through primer that whole seam. And then inside in the gutter here, I actually kind of ground out what was left of the old roof panel. Came out pretty nice. And then the front, do the same thing. Peeled back all the metal, buzz down the spot weld. So do a little more cleaning on it through here. Then we'll do weld through primer on the leading edge, backside, and both the gutters. But just the part that's just amazing on that car. So that's the worst roof I've probably ever seen. I know I've said it sounds like a broken record, but I'm telling you, that thing was just a hot mess. And then for these pieces, this has only been wiped off by hand. They're not even rusted out. This is about a normal surface rust for a car that had a good roof. So I'm really super happy about that. But we're going to go ahead and paint all the inner structure with some like POR 15 or something, kind of encapsulate what's in here, slow the rust down. But you know, being an Arizona car like this, it's not like where I'm from, Indiana. It's going to rust real quick. It's going to stay pretty dry, but it's worth putting a little coat of something on to keep it protected. Now we've just test fitted the roof panel here, and we're seeing it's actually pretty close, but we've got a gap here in the front, not quite pulling down. I'm going to have to remove a little material on the post still. I've got the lead out, so to speak, but there's some brazing material and stuff. I need to get that out because this has got to go down a little bit. And on the passenger side, you're going to find the same thing going on over there, but it's actually a little bit worse. I've got a little bit of patching to do on this one because there's a hole in my A-pillar up in the corner. So we're going to do some little repair work here. Probably make a little section, put it in. But same thing, we're not wanting to sit down because we're actually snagging in here. So I'm going to probably cut some of this out. While I got that cut out, go ahead and cut this piece out and repair that. Cut it back far where we finally get some good metal. But that's not too bad off considering how bad this roof fit. Looked. Now we got the fitment in here in the gutters. Great, looking really nice. Now this here's really cool. It's actually lining up perfect here. Normally this is spot welded across here, and then you fill it full of lead and you take care of the seam. But I'm telling you, this thing is just almost on the money. Think about butt welding it just like we did down here and not use all that filler. And it'll be a whole lot cleaner results. It's gonna take a little more time, but it's right on the lines. So I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna butt weld this roof on the car instead of dropping the seam and filling it full of putty. All right, we've got the passenger side A-pillar all patched up here, the A-pillar and the window channel, and this is all welded solid, ready for the roof to go on. And of course, now we've got all the wire brushing finished up here all around the whole top of the car, and Brian's giving it a wipe down.
That worked.
What? No, not there. Once he gets all done drinking or playing, whatever the heck he's doing, or then we'll get a coat of paint on all this.
This lays down pretty nice.
Yeah. Oh, that's worked real good. We've got your weld through primer on all the edges, POR 15 seal up all the rust that the factory says is acceptable. And we decided that was not cool. And really kind of the point now. I'm gonna flop a roof panel on there and get a final fitment and start burning it in. You are clear. This is the butt button part of the CBS. I'm gonna put it down and regroup your hand.
Yeah.
And we'll flip it.
Oh wow, that's hey. Set yours down.
Alright, probably just gotta push it my way again. There it went. Oh.
You didn't scratch my 415 job, did you?
Nope. I did.
Okay.
Being the gap here, here's not bad. It's actually lined with the body line, but the gap there is not right. You can actually work that with body hammers and get that thing pulled into place. That's gonna be the next thing for actually dropping any screws in, because it's gonna pull this metal here over some. So I'll grab the hammers here.
That way.
Yeah, I want to get the hammer and going and see if we can. Right-handed now, we'll get it.
So far, so good then.
Yeah, it has been bad. So now I'm gonna call that good. That actually rides right down. There's a step in the sail panel. It's actually in that groove. So that's where it needs to be. Now the passenger side sail panel here, where the roof is overlapping the sail panel ever so slightly. So we're gonna pick this back up and kind of just buff the edge off, make it nice and even. Like building the house is that drywall sound. The drywall anchor skips. So basically going to drop the screw about every 2 inches now. Move the vice grips to 2 more screws, and every 2 until you finally get it all clamped together. But it's pulling up nice, getting real close to do some final welding. Got our fitment here. Now normally the factory, when we talk about this, uses plug welds, but we're not going that route. We're going to butt weld this because today it lined up just about perfect with the ridge. We just polished off the edge ever so slightly. So not going to do the lead in this one. So don't have to get the lead out in the future next time, I guess, if there was a next time. But get you up close first, looks good. We'll do the same thing across the front, stitch it down with some screws, and then come through here and weld this together. And I think we're going to be done. Well, final fitment testing is real good. Now spot welding it and getting it all welded into place. So this is something don't get in any hurry on. You want to do a couple spots, move a couple inches away, do a spot weld a couple inches away, and keep working the metal a little bit at a time. Now what we'll do here, sometimes you'll find that you gotta tap on it with a hammer, or check this out here. I lean on the handle with a hammer just a little bit and push it into place and give a little tack and keep working until you get the thing pulled into place. Then after that, just keep stitching it one little spot at a time until you get one solid continuous piece. With the idea of trying to keep the heat down as low as possible so that we don't warp these panels. Now we got the back of the car all welded up on the sail panels. We're going to jump up here to the A pillars here on the front of the car. Now this weld was done from the factory, a continuous bead completely across the whole thing. And then of course then they buried it in lead. So we're going to kind of do the similar thing. We're going to weld the whole thing tight across the whole front. And sometimes you got to massage it with a little bit of a hammer to get it pulled up tight. But we're going to weld this in continuously and then jump over to the patch side, do just the same, and then we'll come through here and do the window channels and have this thing just about squared away.
It is 93 degrees right now.
93?
93.
Whose idea was this?
Told you to come in August.
Careful. August.
Yeah, just in case you have a little trouble getting the screws to fit between here and here because they're just too big, well, it's not too complicated to think about putting it the other way. It actually works pretty good. So, a little FYI, you can't get them to set. I like to screw the panels together, set them this way, and it works just fine. We took those screws back out, did a little drilling. Use a little smaller drill bit 'cause it's kind of a tight area here on the drip rail, but looking pretty good. The well's pulled up real nice and tight and clean. So actually, we're going to say we'll go ahead and jump to the rear window channel here and wrap this thing up. And follow the same technique here. Take the screws back out, drill out a little hole a little bit larger, drill the weld back in, kind of with a little plug weld. But we're going to let Brian wrap this thing up here. He's learned whole quite a bit here to let him, show off his skills and finish it the last few welds on this car.
You got the side cuts that you rip it out. It won't take much. Just got a little snag to them, That's it. And you want this quarter inch drilly bit. Yeah. I will say that one does look a whole heck of a lot better. See, Grasshopper, you were going quick, and then you'd be good in no time. Am I interrupting your work?
Nope.
Oh. Yeah, that's probably it. So, might have to vice grip that one in the corner. Yeah. Here's the thing about it. I mean, these plug welds are going to be better than what the factory had. So.
Right there, I heard it. Just on that one side.
Yeah. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have a roof, no longer a topless bird in Arizona because you get burnt that way, I suppose. But here we go. Got it all welded up. These are factory weld locations. Need a little filler in here. Not going to take a whole lot. Now, you were following along the whole situation. Now, we end up just kind of doing a butt weld between the two panels. This one has a little bit more of a gap. But the amount of filler now to refill this in is going to be a whole lot less lead. We're not going to use lead, but all metal. It's going to be a whole lot thinner this way. So it's definitely not how the factory did it, but I think it's the better repair because we dropped that roof on. I mean, I don't know how it happened. It lined up spot on. Very little work to get that to line up. And you do little plug welds in here. That lined up pretty good. And then all across here, we did that the first video, putting the sail panels in, filler panel in, a little trunk tweaking. But the biggest thing was getting the roof put in, and it's done. We got about 20 hours of thrashing over the last 3 days, and some of that's a little bit of playtime, a little bit of laughing, but hey, you got to keep it fun while we're doing this stuff. And I got to hang out with my buddy Brian in Arizona, and I got to have fun not catching his car on fire 3 times. But we did pretty good. We didn't burn the house down, so I'd say it was success. So, and then same thing on this side, nice tight weld. And what you'll do here, a little bit of filler and call it good. We got to buff a few little welds, but I'll tell you what, I think we've earned a little bit of a break, had a little fun. Of course, we've already had a lot of fun, but I think we've done enough. I'm going to call it quits. Get this video out there, you guys. Appreciate you checking me out in Arizona, hanging out with Brian Minson from Porsche and Pontiac and his garage. He gave me the opportunity to put a roof on. And like I said in the very beginning, I didn't tell him I've never done one before, but he let me do it anyway, but I think it came out great. So appreciate you following me, and we'll catch you guys next time.